What's up? Just sitting here thinking and driving. This trip down to southern Indiana. Taking the opportunity to cover a lot of topics. This beautiful day had me thinking how much weather impacts your ability to make good money or make no money. The weather is critical, you know. Um, in particular, rain. I mean, it's just nothing you can do. Once Mother Nature starts crying, so do you. And the very difficult thing is that you don't get a do-over until next year. Obviously, in a 2-day show, you can hope and pray that the second day, if it starts raining on Saturday, you hope that Sunday will do everything it can to make up for it. And usually, if it's a 2-day show, Sunday's usually not the biggest day. Saturday is. If you have bad weather on Saturday, Sunday's going to be bigger. But it's almost impossible for you not to make 33 to 40% less money if you had a rain event at a show. And unfortunately, I've had it happen a couple of times, just a couple, but a couple of times where it just was a rain out the whole show, and it's devastating. Nothing affects your profit and loss margin to a greater impact than a show getting rained out, because you just lose that money. If you were going to make $7,000 or you average $6,000 at the show, and then you made $65 or $150, like, you can't sell if you don't have people. There are no people, no sales. And man, weather is a bitch. Weather's a tough one. And rain isn't the only thing. In August, in particular, I do a show called the Festival of Little Hills in St. Charles, Missouri. It's always hot. And I think my first year it was so hot that they canceled the show halfway through the last day, which I don't know if they'd ever even done that, but it was just hot. It was so hot that, dogs were taking ice baths in little kiddie pools. They had little kiddie pools filling it up with bags of ice so dogs wouldn't overheat. Like, there's just nothing you can do. Obviously, if I've had tornadoes come in and wreck. I haven't had a tornado come through while the show was going on during the day, but I've had tornadoes come through at night and demolish like a whole street full of vendors' stuff. Tents literally upside down on top of cars, and all people's goods strewn all over the place. And that's very, very difficult. Mother Nature's a bitch. She'll get you. You don't remember when the weather is perfect, but you always remember when the weather is bad. And it's hard. One thing that is a must: make sure you get some good containers to carry your product in. Whatever you do, obviously most of my stuff is wood and some paper. I suggest going to a hardware store and purchasing good, thick, sturdy tubs. You can get them at Walmart, but those break down so fast. They crack probably within 1 or 2 shows, and once it cracks, it gets flimsy. It doesn't hold as good, and once there's a crack in the bottom, that's it. You might as well call it Swiss cheese. And if it rains and you get a raging river through your tent, if your bottom of your tub is cracked, you might as well kiss 40% of your product goodbye. I mean, it's just a fact. So do yourself a favor, get good tubs that are sturdy and strong. They'll last you. They won't fall apart, and it'll protect your product. Most importantly, it'll protect your product. It's really, really, really important. I don't even know the brand that I use, but I get mine at Lowe's, and man, they're really good. They're sturdy. They have a handle that swivels. They've got wheels on them. They stack really well, and I get the biggest ones because I have to carry, hundreds of pieces of wood. But they also have smaller, ones that are like a half the size that I use, and a third and a quarter of the size, and they're all stackable, so they fit well in my van. But yeah, weather's a rough one. I am a little superstitious, so I don't look at the weather too far in advance. For some reason, I find when I look at the weather in advance, it ends up being really terrible. So I try not to look at the weather. But do what you got to do. Obviously, on your phone, you can see the weather map. You can see how the weather is. And I found, the way the radar is, when it shows, not when it shows extreme weather, but when it shows rain chances, 80% or whatever, that doesn't always mean you're going to get rained out. A lot of times, certain festivals in certain areas, Valparaiso is one, Valparaiso, Indiana, northern Indiana, even if it shows rain, somehow the rain always breaks up around the show and doesn't affect it. So that's always a blessing for sure. But yeah, rain's rough. Heat is rough. Snow and ice is rough. When you do the winter shows that are in a convention center and state fairgrounds and things like that, it's rough. It's hard. And there's nothing you can do about it. And remember, you don't get a redo. Your next redo for that show is next year. And that has a huge impact on your bottom line. Because you're already out the money, the booth fee, the hotel fee, the show fee, your gas, your supplies. And sometimes, at least in my case, if I go to Iowa for a show, the stuff that I sell at that show, I really am not going to sell anywhere else. So that's a big hit. It makes it really tough. Really tough. So anyway, just a little nugget. Put in your noggin. Weather is rough. Got to deal with it. Try to compensate for it best you can. But give yourself a good tent. Weatherproof tent. And buy good tubs to store your goods in. So that hopefully, if you do get rain, at the very least, you don't lose your product. Something to think about. As always, keep crafting. Right, Rama?